As the most hardcore fans of mixed martial arts entertainment will tell you, it's a satisfying feeling to see someone succeed consistently. One of the greatest heavyweight fighters in the UFC today is Stipe Miocic, and his story will inspire you to do everything in your life with full dedication and excellence. His personal and professional life are endeared to many. Two-time UFC heavyweight champion Stipe Miocic is a formidable and adaptive fighter in the Octagon, which is evident from his highly decorated resume. He's faced many of the biggest names in the UFC, such as Daniel Cormier, Junior Dos Santos, and Francis Ngannou. Miocic currently holds a 20-3 record with 15 knockouts, which is a pretty solid record for any UFC fighter. Stipe Miocic has defended his UFC heavyweight title several times, which only proves his dominance in the game. He defeated the former two-division champion Daniel Cormier twice. Holding such an awesome power and respectable record to back it up, Miocic could arguably be considered the greatest UFC heavyweight fighter of all time.
I think, either at home and I'm getting yelled at by the wife because I did something wrong or I broke something in the house, or, training for a fight. No, I do, I'm a lighter heavyweight, so I don't have to, be so strict. I do eat healthy. I do watch what I eat, but listen, I'm human. I like to enjoy a few things.
Like, share, and subscribe to the Ultimate Fighting Network as we discover what it's like to face the wacky, but oh so powerful Stipe Miocic in the Octagon. Stipe Miocic is a Croatian-American professional MMA fighter from Euclid, Ohio. Destined for greatness, he was born on August 19, 1982. His name comes from an old Croatian name, Stepan, which was a Croatian Christian martyr. True to his namesake, Miocic would become a natural fighter, not backing up for anything, even in his early years. During his childhood, Miocic got involved in active sports such as basketball, baseball, and football. However, one sport drew the attention of his young eyes and hooked him in for good: wrestling. He immediately fell in love with the fighting scene, which led him to pursue an early career of mixed martial arts in early 2005. That very same year, Miocic was assigned as a sparring partner to do a wrestling session with Dan Bobish in the Ohio-based Strong Style MMA training center. Miocic was originally trained in mixed martial arts, but quickly moved to boxing. His mentor, Marcus Marinelli, recalled that while Miocic had been practicing for just a few months, he was defeating boxers who had many more years of experience. After just 8 months of preparation, Miocic started his MMA career by winning his first 6 fights by knockout. Initially, he fought for NAAFS, an Ohio-based MMA promotion, where he captured the NAAFS Heavyweight Championship. This came after his achievements of becoming a Cleveland Golden Gloves boxing champion, going to the quarterfinals in the national team, and an NCAA Division I boxer in Cleveland State. After investing his time and effort into building his early career, the then young Stipe Miocic realized that it was time to enter the professional scene. He signed a multi-fight deal with the Ultimate Fighting Championship on June 14, 2011. From there, he defeated a number of opponents, such as Joey Beltran and Gabriel Gonzaga. But the most important part of his amateur career was defeating Phil DeFries when the aspiring Miocic achieved the Knockout of the Night award.
Wondering what's keeping this guy up?
No, I watched all his fights. He's just like you got a head, man. It's hard to take him down.
The dominance of Stipe Miocic proved to persist through the heavyweight division as he faced Werdum at UFC 198. A short right hook counter got Werdum as early as the first round, which resulted in Werdum's first loss and our boy's first win in this division. Because of Miocic's awe-inspiring performance, he was given the award of Performance of the Night.
He very strong with his hands. He have a good boxing. He have a good wrestling. He's from here, American, but I think his parents is from Croatian. He's a nice guy. I saw him.
On September 10, 2016, Miocic secured his first UFC 203 title defense against Alistair Overeem. While he was knocked down early in the match, he recovered easily and won the first round by a knockout. Both participants were honored with the Fight of the Night trophy. Miocic won his second belt in defense over Junior Dos Santos on May 13, 2017 at UFC 211 in a rematch. Dos Santos had previously defeated Miocic by a near-majority decision at UFC on Fox, Dos Santos vs. Miocic in 2014. In this rematch, however, Miocic was more powerful and therefore secured the Octagon early. Having taken hard kicks to the knee, Miocic landed mighty shots with destructive precision to drop Dos Santos and then followed up with pounding Dos Santos on the ground. This helped Miocic to take the battle via TKO in the middle of the first round. Miocic received his 4th Performance of the Night award.
Tell us about your shin. You got caught.
That was terrible. It hurt. Finally, the one time I checked it, I know I hurt his foot the one time, but it was a good game plan right away. But as I started checking, it felt better.
After several wins and awards, and thanks to his overwhelming performance in the Octagon, Stipe Miocic would go on to face one of the most anticipated opponents in his UFC career, Francis Ngannou. Thanks for watching this far. Please help support us by liking this video and subscribing to our channel. We appreciate you. On January 20th, 2018, Miocic was confronted by Francis Ngannou at UFC 220. The battle was supposed to be one of the most entertaining in UFC history, and Miocic was publicly disrespected because he had never earned the sum of Ngannou's promotion and funding from the UFC. Miocic overpowered Ngannou for 5 rounds, utilizing clinch or ground control punches, prevailing by the majority decision, and setting the mark for the most straight heavyweight championship defenses with his 3rd successful victory. As he was named the champion, he took the belt from Dana White instead of the normal session, and his mentor Marcus Marinelli wrapped it around him. Both President Kolinda Grabar-Kitarovic and Prime Minister Andrei Plenković congratulated Miocic. The fighting style of Stipe Miocic can be described in one word: adaptive. Stipe has some of the best punching strength in MMA history, and no one knew it. Out of 19 professional wins, 15 of his opponents fell to a complete halt. Witnessing Miocic put Werdum into the land of whispers and visions with a cross counter is the kind of skill that's uncommon for men of this size. With large single strokes, Stipe is an aggressive finisher. However, unlike most of the heavyweights who exploit their punching strength over all else, Miocic has shown greater tactical complexity than most fighters in the big guy category. He's an incredibly multifaceted warrior in a division stacked with guys that fall apart who don't bring their A game. Stipe remains in his place while he pushes. He understands when to change his pose, feint, and sidestep laterally when he's under threat. He has a strong punch, a good left hook, especially when it hit Daniel Cormier's body, a roaring right cross, and a pair of inside plus outside leg kicks. If a competitor attempts to overcome him early on, he can plunge into reactive singles or can take hits from them and counterpoint them. He's a top-ranking power, carrying out traditional wrestling poses like the best of them, as well as a guard passing game with a mean land and pound technique.
How do you feel about this?
I think he's a great fighter. Definitely. He brings it. It's hard. But unfortunately, nothing's going to change. I'm walking out with the belt still wrapped around my waist.
Stipe Miocic was happily married to Ryan Marie Carney on June 18, 2016 at the Divine Word Catholic Church in Kirtland, Ohio. Not long after, he and his wife found out wonderful news that they were expecting a child. His daughter, Mila, was born in 2018. Beyond Miocic's relentless power and prowess in the ring lies a warm-hearted, loving father. Additionally, Miocic can understand Croatian, despite not being fluent, but he's been practicing the language. One thing he does understand for sure, though: respect, dignity, and excellence. Despite being deemed as the greatest of all time in the UFC heavyweight division, Miocic still serves as a firefighter-paramedic in Oakwood and Valley View, Ohio. On his horizon, he wants to become a full-time firefighter after he retires from MMA. When questioned by Joe Rogan why he's still employed as a firefighter after becoming a UFC champion, he said he wants something to come back to after his combat career is finished. Finally, what is it like to face Stipe Miocic? Well, it's not too bad. You just have to go through his unrivaled fist power, wrestling, ground and pound moves, and kicking. That's all. Kidding aside, he's indeed an incredible fighter both in and out of the ring who has put up some of the best fights the world will ever witness.
I don't know if you guys know this, but when another man's trying to beat your ass, that kind of gives you the fight or flight syndrome, and you got to fight for, that kind of gets me going a little bit too. But that song definitely, I love that song. It's everything about Cleveland.